What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode here at Kibbetech. Before we get into things at the shop, just want to thank you for the 10,000 subscribers that we just hit. Having a lot of fun doing these, so don't forget to like, subscribe, tell your buddies, all that good stuff. But come check out what we got going on this week. All right, back here on the old IFS Jeep project. You see we got the aluminum panels all done. So that kind of cleans everything up all nice. We just left them raw, did a nice Scotch-Brite finish on them. He already had it all tabbed out for panels, so we just used the tabs that he had there and then put some nutserts in them and then ran our fender washers to hold them on. But just wanted to keep it simple, flat, single panel, nice little bead roll in it. I actually bead rolled these with the help of one of the guys. I haven't bead rolled a panel in a long time and I really wanted to do it, so it came out really nice. I'm happy with that. We got our sway bar in there. This is our sway bar, our end links. Touched up the rear end with some Steel-It. Got all the parts pretty much final assembled on the back half. You can see everything's final. It's got some torque seal mark on it so you can tell if the bolts are coming loose or not. Shocks are all charged. We're in the middle of doing a bunch of wiring right now. There was a bunch of stuff there, but nothing was really labeled, so we're just kind of going through, and you can see there's a big pile of stuff we took out because everything was pretty much black, red, or orange, so it's kind of hard to figure out all the different systems when it's all the same color, but should be wrapped up with that here in the next couple days so we can finally fire this thing up. But pretty cool. We got our limit straps on here too. So got those on there. You can see this thing's got a bunch of droop from where it's at. We're probably gonna add a bungee cord to that to keep the straps at full compression to want to keep pulling in towards the center of the truck, because if they come out, you might get hung up in the shocks or the tire or something like that. But yeah, we did another panel here for like the trunk. It's got this trunk thing on it. That was on there. So we built a panel there to kind of cover that up. Water lines are in there and done. Come around this side. So water lines are in and done. Just got to do a couple clamps right here to hold them together, keep it from flopping around like that. This radiator we got didn't have a fill in it, so I made this one off the side to run a fill to get fill up nice and high, so we won't have any issues about getting water all the way through all the systems. Yeah, the back's pretty much done besides just bolting the fenders on, but we got those out of the way so we can finish up everything else. But yeah, we'll go check out the front. You see the interior is all ripped apart right now, trying to sort through all that and figure out what's what. But we got our handbrake in there, seats are mounted, got the drive-by-wire pedal mounted, brake pedals in there done. But yeah, not too much fun stuff going on in there right now. The front, you see, it's all assembled. It's on its own weight. Shocks are charged. It's got the limit straps in there. We got to do a couple things with the CV boots. We got to kind of clamp them up here, get them out of the shocks, because if you notice, these CV boots are just massive. So we're going to push them up here and probably clamp them in that area just to stay clear of the shocks. Got our bump caps up here up front, and you can see everything's kind of like that red color. It got really close to matching the powder coat, but obviously with spray paint you can't get the same effect with the silver flake in there. So all new hardware up front and in the back, so everything's proper. Just grade 8 bolts. We didn't do the RPI bolts on this one, but we got all torque seal marked with our Revlock race supplies stuff, and then all the bolts are all anti-seized on the shank from the Revlock race supplies anti-seize that they have. We made a couple different spacers here. So he had some spacers on there. It was just kind of like a 3/4 120. It's kind of thin. So he just made some nice little new stainless ones to hold the box where we want it. And then, yeah, just kind of went through, cleaned everything up there. Intake's done. Got to do some touch-up paint. Got a little scratch in there, so got to touch that up. But yeah, all the major fab work's done. We're just going through and finding all the plugs to all the different systems and trying to see if we can get power to all the different systems in this thing. Once we get the oil coolers and the core support mounted up here, I got to do the oil cooler lines, the power steering lines and the transmission cooler lines, and that thing will be done for plumbing. So yeah, we'll probably get back to that in the next episode, but here it is. We just got done with our shackles, our billet shackles. So did I don't know, 10 sets of them. So I think we explained these last week, but here they are, all done. Half of them are going to go out to anodize. We got a couple custom orders for custom color. I think there's a red set, black set, gray set getting done, and then the rest will be gold and raw. But those will be available at toptiersuspensions.com. And then let's go over here. We got Russ Lab Kyle's fuel cell and fuel cell tubes all ready, done, ready to put on a pallet and ship to them. So we got 4-link kit and a bunch of other stuff we're going to send with them. So we're going to see how big of a pallet we can get away with to send all that to them. But yeah, like I showed you before, tube clamps over here. This part bolts in, so this whole thing comes out. The fuel cell just comes right out. It's got aluminum floor in here. That's just, it's not bolted in, but it's just sandwiched in there with the fuel cell. So that gives it a nice platform to sit on. Some of the trucks we Line-X those, give it a nice little cushion to sit on. But yeah, build to order, build your pre-runner. Like you can see, we got some radius ones up there ready to go. And over here, we got our little new shipping area because the front room ran out of space. But shipping out some speed toolkits, quick release mounts. We got a bunch of Raptor arms going out. Battery trays, single and double. So yeah, they're all just getting finalized right now with hardware and the tops, and then boxed up and ready to go. And Top Tier Suspensions will have all this stuff in stock, ready to go. Ooh, exciting thing for the white truck over there. These just showed up. Unbolt this. Unbag this. So we just got these in for the white truck. So pretty nice. I don't even know what material all this is, but the owner of the truck, I told him, hey, just go on their website. They have a cool little builder thing on there. You can just pick out your colors, your materials, everything you want. So this is what he picked out, and they look really, really good. So excited to get these mounted up in the truck. And I think he did a +2 for the front seats, and then the rear is just a standard seat. So you want a little more room in the front. So yeah, we went with that. So different seats front and back, but they visually look the same. The other ones are just a little bigger. So came out really nice. And you know, we got our logo in them, and they look nice. Another cool thing that showed up this week was this pallet of leaf springs. So we don't really mess with any leaf spring builds anymore regarding like pre-runners, but these are the same leafs that I have on the Bugatti Max and the same ones we put on the truck that I've been calling the new Gotti Max, but they're custom leaf from Deaver. It's basically like a zero lift, and it just gives you a much better ride quality. So same stuff I showed you on the Bugatti Max before. I think I explained them on that as well. But those paired with our shackles, and then paired with our cool little shock mount kits that I showed you that I have on the Bugatti Max as well. You get a pretty nice riding Chevy 2500, 3500. So check those out. We'll be selling those too. Top Tier will have those as well. All right, let's go see what Chase is f***ing up today. Let's go see what Chase is up to. Where'd he go? Oh, he's over there. Anyway, Chase has been working on the white truck back wall. You can see the sheet metal's all started. Pretty similar to how the gray truck is laid out. We did one big panel on this one instead of doing 3 separate panels. Just cuts down on welding time. And you see right here, we did a couple holes and did some plug welds, smoothed them back out, just so you don't get like a big tinny sound, but still not welded, so it'll get some of that sound will come out of it once we get that all welded up. But just trying to seal that off. And then we're gonna start getting the seats all sorted out in this thing. But that'll be the next step. I think Evan was working on one of the rear ends. He's working on the rear end for this thing. We got another one for Rust Lab Kyle over there. For that rear end will go with all the other parts we're making for him. But yeah, Chase has been doing a pretty good job on this back section. We just got this one kind of mocked up in here with Clecos. We got to trim some out of this bottom, but we'll finalize that once we fill in the inner panel. And then same thing like Gray Truck, we'll do a panel here and one on the inside. And then we got to wait till we get this tube in around the shocks before we can finalize all of these, but get a nice head start on it. So yeah, once he's done with this, we'll probably have him move on to the front firewall and then just keep plugging away at it. All right, looks like Chase is back. We'll ask him what he's doing. We'll get his expert explanation.
Oh God. What's up, guys?
Explain what you're doing.
I am making filler panels out of sheet metal. Hopefully to fill the rest of this in. The end.
I mean, there's no other easier way to explain it. Making sheet metal panels to fill everything in. Good job. Let's ask Evan what he's doing.
What are you doing, Evan?
Evan, what are you doing?
Stuff.
Oh my God. All right, we won't ask Evan what he's doing. I'll just explain it for him. Because he's on a sick one right now. Curry rear end for Rust Lab. It's getting our upper pivots, same style as what I showed you before on the Spider tracks and the TubeWorks rear end. So pretty much same geometry. We could use these on, so Curry specific, Spider tracks, TubeWorks. It's all the same geometry to where we could pretty much interchange the rear ends and geometry will stay the same. But yeah, there you go. Some tabs. All right, back over here on the black Prerunner, we got sway bar all installed. So inside here is a big splined 300M, 1.5-inch diameter sway bar, and it necks down to about 1.25 inches in the middle. So these are our billet sway bar arms, our billet little end caps for the sway bar arms, and then our end links here, and then FK rod ends, and then some RPI 12 points. You can see, like I explained before, everything's in this kind of like raw looking color. So the customer didn't want a bunch of gold on this thing. It still has black and gold shocks, but he wanted like a little different look on the aluminum. So we went with raw, and you know it's polished. I think I explained it before. Polished, and then acid dipped, and then clear anodized. So it's got that nice even look on it. So I got the sway bar all buttoned up. Obviously it looks like it's not drooped out that far right now because these are just really short straps we put in it just to hold the rear end up. So it really actually droops out about 10 inches more than where it's at right now. Got a bunch more plumbing done. You see this hanging out right here. And this one, this is the fuel cell vent right here. And then this one is the rear end vent. You can see the rear end vent comes up right here. This isn't like an oiling system or anything. This is just a vent. So the vent comes up right here. Goes to this bracket right here. This cool little bracket right here from Everson Performance holds the Dash 8 bulkhead for the vent and the Dash 3 bulkhead for the brake line. So this was the other way. I actually flipped it around, and then we're getting another brake line made, or making another brake line for this because just the layout of the vent on the top worked out better than the other way around. So just switched that up in the middle of doing it. Got the third member in here, Gearworks 10-inch, axles are in. You can see the hubs are spinning, so that's exciting. The vent line, this isn't finalized right now because you still got to adjust the upper links. This will get hose clamps with the heat shrink on them. You see the vent comes up right here, and it zip ties all the way along up there with that fuel feed, and then comes down the back wall, comes out right here. I did a little heat shrink on the end of this to keep that from chafing right there. So a little heat shrink, a little trick there. Adele clamps here, nuts are into the back panel, so you see that comes down there. Fuel cell vent is on the other side, so kind of got some symmetry going on there with the two vents. So I really like how that turned out. Still got to get the tranny lines in on this side. Those are done. I just got to get them in there and zip tie them. If you look at the fuel lines on that side, the fuel lines and oil cooler lines on that side with the battery cable right there. So you can see kind of a lot going on right there. A lot of isolating, like I explained before, isolating all the lines and getting them fastened securely to the chassis so there's no chafing or wiggling around there. But now that we got this all done, I got material in to finish the exhaust. So we'll put the coilovers back in to check clearance on the exhaust at droop, and then I gotta fish it through right here somehow in between all these lines and everything. So we gotta pull the shocks out to do that because we gotta bump it all the way out to make sure the exhaust will clear the upper link. So a lot of cycling right there to get the exhaust to clear, but it'll package out pretty nice when it's all done. So that'll be the next phase for this thing. Will be button up the exhaust, get the exits through each bedside, and then bedsides come off, go to Linex, get a top spray and a full inside spray, and then they'll get bolted back up. Toast. Toast. Toast.
Yeah.
Toast.
Yes, sir.
What are you working on?
Making another fixture for our mill, so we can increase production.
Hear those crickets? Yes.
No, please.
What were you
Yeah,
working
just,
on earlier? That's what we really want to see. The fixtures are cool, but let's look at other fixtures.
I'll have to load it. So just, can you time lapse really fast? Give me like 2 minutes.
As opposed to time lapsing slow.
Oh yeah, or speed it up, or I don't. What's the opposite of time lapse?
Slow mo?
No, no, it's time lapse, right? I don't know. Whatever. Speed it up.
The opposite of fast forward is Matt.
1 hour later.
So here it is. All the fixtures are done for this truck. So
Tube chassis truck.
tube chassis truck. We started off with the front, then we went on to the back, and then now we finished up the front. So all the, like we mentioned before, all the tubes are off the laser, the shock mounts are off the laser, now the fixtures are off, and that was pretty much the whole thing. So this thing's going to be pretty much complete now. And going to finish up some of the smaller things like the seat mounts, start finalizing, maybe even the steering, as far as the steering column and steering wheel position and all that cool stuff. But yeah, the main structure is all there, all the weldments are all done, and this is going to give us a good foundation to start getting the rest of it knocked out and get it into basically a rolling state. So the next cool part about it is going to be machining some parts, which include the spindles, the uppers, get some fabricated lowers in there, and all the shocks and all the other cool stuff is going to be coming along pretty quick. So what do you think, Ryan?
Yep, sounds about right.
You can bleep that out. Is that a bad word? No. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Looks good though.
There you go. I don't know how many of the front ones we ordered, but I think we ordered like 3. So
Yeah.
got a couple new builds in the works. So we
Yeah.
got a few of the front tubes and shock mounts on the way.
Yeah.
Actually, the shock mounts, we got 5 sets of those because the gray truck and the Tundra will use this fixture. We'll bolt this fixture onto those trucks to place the shock mounts in the bumps, and then we could actually just build all that stuff, the tube work to the shock mounts. We could build all that freehand, just to the trucks because they're kind of like one-off. So
Right. Yeah. So fixture right off the bulkhead, so that way we can use it on all the other trucks. That's it for today. But we'll have a lot of stuff next week because
good job, Toast.
there's a lot of new stuff coming up that's non-fixture related now because all that stuff's kind of done.
Thirsty.
But go on to some cool machining, I'm sure, coming up pretty soon.
Do your big outro. Come on.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Come back next week for another show of Kibbetech. And I'm not going to say toast out.
All right, back here in the old shipping room, basically the stock room for all our soft goods. Got some new hats in today, actually, so stocked back up on our camo hats. We got our black hats, we got Heat Waves, Quattro, Vice, Avenue, got all those in stock. We got our sweatshirts and large, extra large, 2X, small, medium. We got t-shirts and all 3 different of our logos. We got small, medium, large, extra large, 2X, and I think we have some, yeah, we have some 3X and limit straps. And then something new coming for our handbrakes, but I'm not going to talk about it now, but you can look at it and take a guess for yourself. So here you go. But yeah, all this stuff, kibbetech.com. Go check it out.